Same old crap over and over again.
Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the iRacing Superspeedway Series, sponsored by Fort Worth Screen Printing. Tonight, we will be at the virtual Daytona International Speedway for 30 heart-pounding laps in the NASCAR Cup cars. I'm your announcer, Atlee @ManReese, and joining me tonight to call the action is the people's champ and experienced iRacer driver, Dustin Dean. Hey, Dustin, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, ready to call a hopefully great race here at Daytona. I don't think Daytona has ever disappointed us when it comes to great superspeedway racing, but how about some great heat racing? That's right, I said heat racing at Daytona tonight. Tell us about it, Atlee.
Right, so the format for this race is pretty much, we got 5 are going to be advancing from qualifying. We're going to have 2 heat races. Heat races are a lot of times associated with like dirt, but no, we're going to be doing it at Superspeedways. Advancing from that, and then a total of 25 drivers will be starting the feature. And to put that in perspective, we have 45 drivers that paid $25 to get into this, and only 25 will make it into the feature. So heat races are definitely very, very stressful times for these drivers.
Yeah, I think it will be. As you see in practice right there, we're running 3 wide in practice, so I can only imagine as the laps wind down and those drivers try to make it into the feature that it's going to get more intense as you see one going through the grass in practice.
And before we get too much into the racing action, I do want to thank tonight's sponsor, Fort Worth Screen Printing. Fort Worth Screen Printing has been around since 1997. They have provided quality screen printing services to promotional products distributors, marketing firms, advertising agencies, and users all throughout the United States. And Fort Worth Screen Printing is actually the official apparel supplier of 2 big NASCAR teams, Mike Harmon Racing and Rick Ware Racing. Now, if you are in need of quality screen printed t-shirts, please look them up on Facebook at Fort Worth Screen Printing, or you can find them online at fwscreen.com. And to help you locate that website, I've actually put the link to FW Screen, their website, in the description. So, if you're a kickball team or iRacing League, and you want to have t-shirts made, then go ahead and check them out on Facebook, Fort Worth Screen Printing, or online at fwscreen.com.
Got some big drivers in the field tonight, some drivers that we usually see up front. We got Kyle Mays in the field tonight. We also have Shane Hensley. We've seen him up a couple times. Drew Hopkins, I know we've seen a couple times. Wyatt C. Martin, and even Justin Botello is here tonight with us. So John Ernst, also Colin Willems, a bunch of drivers that we always see. In fact, I have to mention Matthew T. Lee and John Garrett because they are always there. But anybody could win tonight, so even if it's their first time, we could see a brand new winner here in the Superspeedway Series. And hopefully, go ahead, Atlas.
I was about to say that a brand new winner we saw last race with Hunter Parsons. Now, Hunter Parsons didn't lead the most laps. He didn't lead the second most laps, but he led the lap that counted, the final lap, and he ended up taking the win. He started in last place at Talladega, had to make his way all the way up to the field, avoided some wrecks, and he ended up taking the win. Garrett Maines finished second, Andrew Navarro third, Brandon Schuberko fourth, and Travis Turnmeyer fifth.
Well, that's a way to end practice right there. But yeah, usually, like you just pointed out, qualifying not too big of a deal here at Daytona. But that being said, keep in mind that the top 5 qualifiers will, like you said earlier, make their way straight to the feature. And as we've talked about several times, that is a huge advantage as you get to watch everybody else work through the chaos as we start seeing some drivers pull out to make their qualifying run. I always like that high line on the first lap, low line on the second. I'm sure they'll be following that tonight. Let's see who we got here out on the track already, weaving their way through, it looks like.
Gavin Cardwell. But before we get started, Dustin, this field is packed with some great drivers, so who do you have your eye on tonight?
That's a loaded question. I'll tell you what, we have sit here and we have watched week after week Raymond Rittenauer. He has qualified up front. He's even started on the pole a couple times, but never quite sealed the deal. I think tonight may be his night to break through and finally get one of these heat races, and then maybe even the main as well.
Now, for me, I'm going to have to go with John Garrett. John Garrett, like you said, just like Raymond Rittenauer II has qualified on the pole, was up front most of the time, but still has a goose egg in the wins count. So we'll see if he can get it done tonight here at Daytona.
Yeah, I think after watching McDowell win the 500, I really am looking at first-time winners, and hopefully we'll get one tonight. I'm not sure what Crystal King is doing. He is taking his sweet time out here tonight. You will not get the pole doing that.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on myself, but I think a lot of drivers are starting to do their first timed lap.
I think we might be seeing some cheesing, as they call it. Maybe. I don't know here. We might be telling us some secrets. We might be telling Crystal secrets here, as she must know something that I don't.
No, she's taking off right now as we got some people hitting the board. James Shirley, 47.94. I'm going to say that pretty quickly because the board is always moving with new drivers getting close to the fastest timer. Has the fastest time, but so far it looks like that's actually stood for a pretty long time. James Shirley and the 47.94. I do not think we've ever seen him in an iSSL Superspeedway Series race.
Yeah, that name does not ring a bell, at least for this league. I know I've seen him in a couple other races. We see, well, like you said, you just can't keep up with the times. They're changing everywhere. You got Justin Yee up top now, 47.88, and that changed just like that. Tom, yep. Go ahead, Atlee. Pronounce that for me.
I mean, there is a baseball player with that last name, Moustakas. I think Tom Moustakas gets on the top of the board with a 47.88. Good time for him. Brandon Chuberko gets third.
I was not going to butcher that. Oh, man. Casey Pierce now. That 18 machine looks like it has finally made its qualifying run.
Ooh, new person on the top of the board. 55 of Kyle Mays gets there with a 47.87.
You see, he's pretty happy with it. Looks like, at least. I'm thinking, I'll go ahead.
He gets the fifth one. We got Andrew Navarro now on the top of the board.
Yeah, and right now, tied for fourth place. I'm serious, tied here at Daytona. For fifth now is 47.88. You got Justin Yee and Brandon Chuberko in that fifth spot. They're tied for it. I guess they go to what after that? Tenths of a thousandths?
Oh, but they're not going to have to worry about that because both of them are going to make the heat races because Jason D. Maines, Crystal King gets to second.
We have figured something out here. Crystal King, she's got to share what she has done here. She was doing something fancy on the backstretch, and we see Garrett Maines, well, he finally came to the stop there. But, yeah, he's on the top. Crystal now, she's fell back to fourth. Kyle Maines to fifth. And it looks like things are starting to quiet down here.
Right. Still, Raymond Ridenour the second. Matt D. Horton, Travis Paul, Christian Sanford still need to get on the board. Raymond Ridenour, a 50-50. It's gonna put him last on the board.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see that second lap of his. I think that's his first lap.
Right.
Justin Botello comes in third there.
Pretty close. 47.85. There's John Garrett, 50-year-old from Tyler, Texas.
Is Raymond officially done qualifying? Oh, they're only doing single lap qualifying, Atlee, I'm hearing. So, that changes things. Raymond Ridenour right now, top of the board, second in board, 57.83.
Okay, so there looks like there is dual lap qualifying.
Yeah, it says 2 laps here. I must have looked at something wrong there. My apologies.
There's Matt D. Horton. He got to fourth. But no one has been able to catch that one machine of Garrett Maines.
Right now, your top 5, Garrett Maines, Raymond Ridenour. The second, Andrew Navarro, Matt Horton, and Justin Botello. And we do have Christian Sanford on the track right now trying to knock off those top 5.
Oh, looks like we have the Dogecoin car, the greatest cryptocurrency on the planet.
It's going to shoot to the moon, I can guarantee it. Boy, I'm excited here. I'm excited to see what he comes in as. Here he comes, holding a real steady line there. Coming off turn 4, he's going to arch it down. Oh, he gets on the apron. That's even better here. And he ends up
12th.
in 12th. That's right.
It looks like everybody has gotten their times on the board, so let's go ahead and do the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the...
Welcome back to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the iRacing Super Stock League Superspeedway Series, sponsored by Fort Worth Screen Printing. And right now we're finishing out qualifying, and everybody has gotten a time on the board, and Garrett Maines is the top dog here in qualifying.
Yeah. And as per usual, we are talking about $300 to tonight's winner, potentially even more, as the cleanest driver will get $70. And if that cleanest driver finishes first, then he'll get $370 on a Friday night as you check out the track conditions there on your screen.
77 degrees Fahrenheit for air temperature, 56% humidity, partly cloudy, and 2 miles per hour wind speed. So one thing that won't be coming to play here is the weather, as looks like everything is fine and dandy in Daytona Beach, Florida.
At least on iRacing it is. And at the real Daytona, I heard it's raining a little bit, which is going to make the truck race interesting. But right now, we're focused on cup racing. And the drivers are getting ready right now in their cars, strapped in. Belts are tightening as we get ready for heat number 1. Remember, that is a 15-lap duel, I guess you would say, because there's 2 of them. And the top 10 will advance from both. And so it should make for some exciting racing here.
And before we get into the starting lineup, make sure, if you have not already, to follow Intensity Broadcasting, as we're going for 980 by the end of this broadcast. We're at 976 as we are on the road to 1,000. Before we get into this action, make sure to follow if you're enjoying what you're seeing.
Absolutely. And I always share. You don't realize for a broadcasting company like ourselves how much sharing will help us. We do not have the same friends that you have. So sharing that will definitely get our name out there and just support us just that much more.
Right now, let's just take a quick look at the starting lineup for this one. Justin Botello is going to be on the pole. Crystal King second. Tom Mustakas third. Heath Snyder fourth. Rounding out your top 5 is going to be Jason Maines. Sixth is going to be Brandon Schuberko. Starting 7th is John Garrett. Outside of him is going to be Hunter Parsons. 9th is Colin Willems. And then 10th is David Cardwell. Starting 11th, we have John McAdam. 12th is James Shirley. Starting 13th is Toby Eckenberg. 14th is Chase Hardy. 15th is Nick Mather. Starting 16th is going to be Davin Cardwell. 17th is Tyler Payne. 18th, Darren Halliman. 19th, Wyatt C. Martin. And last but not least is William H. Scott Jr.
So that's your full field here for heat number 1. 20 cars, 10 spots. Atlee, have you ever seen musical chairs? Like, have you actually ever seen a game of musical chairs played out?
Yes, I've played one game of musical chairs.
So everybody's listening for that music to cut out, right? And that is about the time that you stick your booty out in the air and you swing that thing and knock the person that's about to steal that chair. You knock them right out onto the floor. And I'm telling you, I feel it tonight, Atlee. I think that's going to happen. As we come down to that last lap of heat number 1 or number 2, I think it's going to go swinging and somebody's going to hit the ground hard tonight.
We'll see.
I think it's going to happen. I just feel it in my bones, folks.
Got a feeling.
I got a feeling. Oh, no, I'm not going to be singing for y'all. That would be bad real quick.
You said before that you're a good singer.
Oh, I lied, Atlee. I lied so bad. Anyways, let's get back to this racing here. We got Justin Botello and Crystal King. We're going to lead the field down to this green flag here. And I would say let's take it slow. Let's take it cautious the first couple laps. But there's only 15 laps, so I don't know if you can do that in your back. You see the pace car diving off. We're going to green flag racing here at Daytona.
Excited for heat race number 1 and taking off is Crystal King and Justin Botello. Ooh. Crystal thought about it, but stays up. The gap closed as the 10 of Tom Mustafa got the back bumper of Justin Botello, and Justin Botello is now.
Yeah, so much for keeping it cautious there. Boy, they were awfully swervy on that first little corner there. On the backstretch, though, that outside line really kicking back up.
They've gotten to the rear quarter panel of the 10 of Tom Mustakas, but they haven't really gotten. Oh, and the 10, as speaking of Tom Mustakas, he goes up to the high side. Oh, and Crystal King into the wall. Oh, caution's out.
Others collected back there.
What in the world? We'll check that one out with the wreckage replay. Here in just a second.
Did she get clipped there? I think she might have got clipped there.
Let's see.
Yeah, by the 29.
Is it another bump drafting gone wrong incident? Let's see. Yep.
Boom.
Heath Snyder tried to bump draft there and just hooked the wrong end of that 278 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, and that sent her flying into the wall.
Yeah, it looks like she might have slid up just a little bit as the 29 was coming down, and that is the result of it. That's the word I was thinking of there.
Let's check that out again. And then with the spoiler skew, it's gonna automatically make the car with all the weight on the right side turn right. Boom, into the wall.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand in these cars here. It is, you're turning left the whole time. And so if you turn right, even if you're by yourself and you turn right just a little bit, the car wants to go to the right. And so if you get hooked like that, there is no saving as the 9 just comes through there and nowhere to go. Same for the 8 here.
That was weird. He went right through Crystal King. Who goes?
Yeah, sometimes it happens so fast, iRacing can't keep up with it there.
Right, this is virtual. There's only so much it can handle.
I saw about 6 cars involved in that.
Right.
Well, so much for keeping it cool, calm, and collected on lap 1.
Did they? Yeah, they were right at the start-finish line when it all went wrong.
Yeah, coming to lap 2. Right now we're sitting at lap 3. As we come on to the backstretch, we see Justin Metello as your leader, Tom Mustakis in second, Brandon Chaburko in third, Jason Maines in fourth, Hunter Parsons round up at top 5, and that driver that you said, John Garrett, will be in sixth.
Burke was on the apron for a little bit, but there is a look. And Justin Metello is sponsored by our sponsor for tonight, Fort Worth Screen Printing. And what is that? The Little Tykes. Oh, I think I remember what it's referencing.
I will say Brandon Chaburko did get a warning from race control to, hey, keep your car up on the track where it belongs.
I know. I saw him swerve down onto the apron. We got Jason Maines.
Any relation to Garrett Maines that you know of?
I mean, it makes, I don't know, a lot of people with, like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Not sure, just a question.
Last. So if anybody knows if Jason Maines is related to Garrett Maines, tell us in the comments.
Absolutely.
50-year-old from Tyler, Texas. We're just doing a quick flyby of the field. Colin Willems, 31-year-old from London, Ontario.
And I'm hearing from producers that Ontario is actually in Canada.
It is.
Just kidding, folks.
We do have a shout out actually for Colin Willems from Cassie Willems.
I assume they're related in some way, form, or fashion. We go back through the field here. The pace car lights are off. They're on the back stretch right now, you can see. So we'll get restarted here on lap number 5. That means we'll have just over 10 laps to go here in the first heat. Right now, running 10th is Toby Eckenberg. He's in that final transfer position. Nick Mather right there in 11th, right behind him. He's wanting in there. And for these drivers, other than James Shirley, who's a lap down, I mean, he may get his lap back, but I think it's going to be difficult with only about 10 laps to go. It's really, you know, anybody's race, I would say, other than James, unless he gets a quick caution here.
Here we go. We're getting set to go back green here at Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, you'll see that pace car. Watch at the bottom of your screen. Here he goes. Slide about cut off Justin Patello's nose there. But the green flag is back out as Justin Patello gets a good jump. Thomas Stakis falls down the inside line. Well, now he's trying to debate. Does he want the inside or outside? He'll stay on the inside, headed down in turn 1.
And Justin Patello has like a big gap in front of everybody else, but sometimes that says the people behind you can build up momentum and just fly right by you.
Yeah, watch this run down the backstretch.
Oh, he blocks.
He blocks. About got left in the middle there. But now he takes to the front. Got the 27 of Jason Maines right behind him. They make their way right to the front. Like you said, that curse Justin Patello had just caught up with him. But now we got the 12 of Brandon Chaburko, pushing him right back to the lead. I think Tom Mustakis might lead this lap, but it's going to be close.
Got that lap, but
barely.
Now Mustakis, he was clear for a long period of time over the 20 of Justin Patello, but then he ended up not coming down and stayed up.
Well, I think he knows that outside line has momentum coming off the turns, and that's really where most people prefer to be, is that outside line. You can see they get another big run down here the backstretch. Not going to quite have the run he had last lap, but still had a great run nevertheless. That 12 is really pushing now in the back of Justin Patello. Oh, now he's not stepped outside. He's going to take this. I bet he'll lead this lap here.
Yeah, he's going to lead it. Brandon Chaburko, he's got a ton of momentum as the 10 is giving him a good push. So Chaburko is going to head on down. And the the 10 of Tom Mustakas, who's going to stay on the high side.
And Justin Patello pushing hard on that 10 right now, or 12, excuse me, trying to keep him out there in the front as that top line. Tom Mustakas trying to make it work again. Got the 27, and Jason Maines pushing him hard right now. Trying to get that lead as he come off turn 4.
Yep, turn 4. A lot of times, oh, and Brandon Chuburko goes up top to block the run that the high side was getting.
Pulling a Dale Jr. right now, trying to lead both lanes. A lot of times, drivers that are not experienced enough, they find themselves caught in the middle and doesn't work out well.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky move. They can keep it on the high side, and now that puts Justin Botello as the leader of the bottom.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll see some smoke coming in. That's just from some internet connections one of the drivers is having. Connection issues, I should say. And so don't be alarmed by that. As you see the 12, Brandon Chuburko, that really paid off for him as he takes the low line back to the lead. We see some shuffling back there, but Brandon Chuburko is riding on.
As we're nearing 5 to go, but the carry on with the connection issues, we considering the fact that there is a snowpocalypse going on right now, there is a chance that the drivers could have their power go out. We did see Jimmy Crow in the Tuesday night Superspeedway Kings race. He had his power go out right while we were gritting for the race. So there's a possibility with, again, all the snow with the snowpocalypse.
Yeah, no joke. It's been a snowpocalypse all around the country. It's been snow. I know it's definitely affected our work and a couple of our vendors that we get our products from. But yeah, Brandon Chuburko, I heard on the radio just talking to Justin Botello, just saying, "Hey buddy, how you doing back there?" And Justin Botello jokingly came back on the radio, just hanging out. So just hanging out on Friday. Listen, they're in the top 5 right now. They're where they want to be. They're in the transfer spot. 8 laps to go, or excuse me, 6 laps to go right now, and they are fine, fine and dandy. Now where I'm worried about is past that, where you see the double file action back there. That's where I'm worried about, because these drivers, remember, they're playing musical chairs, and pretty soon here in about 5 laps, that music's going to quietly go off.
Looks like the 81 of Colin Willems is going to go up to the high side. And once we go 5 to go, we always like to start watching that transfer spot and see what's going on. Right now in 10 is Jason Maines. He's got Wyatt C. Martin outside of him, trying to get it.
Yeah, and Crystal King, she's made her way back up there, and you see her there. She's right there in the transfer spot right now. Saw some wiggling out of there from Jason Maines. But the 29 also riding in the mix there. You got a whole bunch of cars.
We got loose up front. What a
leader.
save!
Yeah, Justin Pillow looked like he got into the back bumper a little too much there of Brandon Chuburko. That's really going to stack up this field.
That had to have been the most scariest moment I've ever seen. Luckily, Justin Botello ended up saving it, because that could have been bad, as that actually gave the high side a little bit of momentum, and Wyatt C. Martin was trying to get by the 27 of Jason Maines. We're still side by side for that final transfer spot.
Here you see a car out there. That's James Shirley. And hopefully he'll stay out of the way here, as this field is going to be flying right by him, I'm sure.
Right now, from 9th to I'd say 13th is the danger zone right now. Accidents are prone to happening. Oh, and speaking of that, was that the lap car that got into the wall?
Yeah, that was James there. Had to put it outside the wall. Luckily, he stayed up on it. We got some more action right here. Oh, there it is. 27 around. Jason Maines involved. You got the 59 of Tyler Payne involved. Wow.
Caution, second caution of the night is out here for heat race number 1. We'll check out that wreckage replay. Exactly what happened.
And as you get that dialed up for us, I just have to say, what driving by all the drivers that were up there when Brandon Chuburko and Justin Vitello made contact and about sent the thing around. Man, driving under those conditions can be stressful. But let's see what happens here. Bring out this caution.
Pay close attention to the 27 machine of Jason Maines. He's got the 13 of Eckenberg outside of him, Toby Eckenberg. 66 of John Garrett made the move up to the high side. And
just trying to watch here to see what maybe happened. Maybe you see that car slide up. Maybe there's a little checkup.
ooh.
It looks like it. Oh, he got loose.
Yeah, he got loose in front of him. And then 70 with 27 probably slowed down to avoid it. And the 70 got into the back of him. That sent him around. Then he gets back into the 70. 59 didn't get too much damage. Ooh,
He gets hit again here, though.
No. No.
Right there. Yeah. I think he still keeps it off the wall, so he might be all right. Yeah, he's good.
There you go. That is our second caution of the night.
And a bunch of drivers just nowhere to go. You saw the 59 there was dead on that 70, and so just nowhere to go for Davin Cardwell. I mean, it's kind of like the situation we saw at Daytona, where just you got drivers pushing drivers, and you can only see so far ahead of you that you don't really know that you're coming up on somebody else, and especially if somebody checks up in front of you. I mean, that's how quickly things happen, though, for the 27. Unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can get back into it. As we see going through the field a little bit, Colin Williams, Hunter Parsons now. Last week's winner you talked about earlier.
And I do want to say that situation right there is why you don't always want to be close to the person in front of you's back bumper, because if somebody like checks up or spins or slows down in front of you, and then the person who you're bump drafting slows down, you're going to run right into their back and send them around, and potentially you as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I will say, I had a family member of mine watching the league race for iOS on Tuesday night, and they were asking, how realistic are these cars compared to NASCAR cars? And I responded back, well, if I ever drive a NASCAR car, I'll let you know. But I've heard that, from other NASCAR drivers, that this is the closest thing you can get to it without feeling the G-forces. That's really the main difference, is you can't, your body doesn't feel these corners.
Right.
But everything else is pretty realistic. And so when we're driving these cars, especially at a place like Daytona, yeah, I mean, these split-second decisions that you have to make, yes, your car does get that loose. Even at Daytona, it's crazy how realistic iRacing has become, and it really puts on for some good racing.
Now, I do want to say that Daytona, in the tri-oval area, does actually have a few bumps, and when the cars can hit that bump, it can send them around.
Yeah, I know you can really feel it at the Talladega tri-oval. There's that bump there, you know what I'm talking about? And yeah, it almost jerks your steering wheel out of your hand if you're not careful. And so at Daytona, yeah, there's a little bump, but it's definitely not as bad as that Talladega one. As we are gridding up here to have our first attempt at a green-white checkered, and looks like, yeah, we have Brandon Saberko as your leader, Tom Mastakis in that 12 machine. Right. Well, something's happening with my scoring here. Okay, Brandon Saberko in the 12. He is our leader. He's chosen to take that inside line. Tom Mastakis in the 10 on the outside. There we go. I straightened it out, Atlee.
Dustin, in your opinion, for this strategy right here, do you want to try to stay out front or like maybe push for the win? Because of course this is a heat race, this isn't the real race. Maybe keep it safe.
Yeah, as long as I'm in that top 5, I could really care less where I finish. Obviously, for bragging rights, you want to win, but I don't think I'm really concerned about winning if I'm in this race. I just want to be in that top 10. That's really all I care about. So I'm more cautious if I'm like the Crystal King, who's sitting in ninth, Wyatt C. Martin sitting in 10th, David Cardwell is he's sitting in 11th. That's where I'm worried about. So as this pace car ducks on off here, gonna have 2 laps to go to get it done.
Green, green, green.
I hear the music is slowing down a little bit, Atlee.
All right, we're back green here, and you're right. The intensity is starting to pick up here in this race car game of musical chairs as we're side by side. Mustakas on the top, Chuburko on the bottom. Chuburko Colin Willems.
On turn 2, it'll be really interesting to see if Colin Williams can make that work on the bottom. It depends on how good of a run he gets and the pushing he gives to that 10 machine. But right now, we got 4 wide on the backstretch here.
Uh-oh, that cost him. Heath Snyder was trying to use the apron, but ended up getting caught on it, and that got his car a little bit loose. As we look now at this transfer spot, it's wild. Jason Maines right now is in 9th, Kobe Eckenberg in 10th. White C. Martin is trying to make the pass now on Eckenberg to get that final transfer spot.
And we are on the white flag lap. This is the last lap, so if you got any moves left up your sleeve, now's the time to bring them out.
Yep, I think we're going to be seeing no more giving. And Wyatt C. Martin bumps Eckenberg for that final transfer spot. There it is. That's the musical chair. He blocks
look
the
at the
59.
blocking. Oh, he's got to give it up. Yeah, you can't block that down.
Then he
27 there trying to make it happen. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen here? They come down.
He's got a good run, I think. Yeah, the 59 of Eckenberg's going to get that final transfer spot. Or no, that's Tyler Payne, my bad.
Tyler Payne. Yeah, Eckenberg is the car we saw flying down the backstretch to that inside wall.
But
yeah, so Tyler Payne will be making it through along with Wyatt C. Martin there.
Yeah, Wyatt C. Martin did make a lot of musical chair moves.
Well, he had to. I mean, if he didn't
that's
there,
what you got to do.
I mean, if he lets that 59 get up under him there going down the backstretch, that might be the end.
Go ahead and look at the starting lineup for heat race number 2. There we go. So starting first with the time of 47.860, we got Brandon Gagnon in the 83. Starting second is the 55 of Kyle Mays. Third is the 7 of Derek Fulton. Outside of him is Christian Sanford. And then starting fifth, we have Justin Yee.
So, same situation, different set of cars, 20 cars. Only 10 cars can make it through to that final feature for their chance at $300. And I think for these drivers that have just watched heat number 1, I think it's going to be more intense. For whatever reason, I don't think they're going to be calm. I think it's going to be more side-by-side racing than what we just saw. And I think that it's going to be a little more beating and banging here. I think heat number 2 just ramps up the intensity for a little bit. I'm not really sure why. You think it'd almost be the opposite, but a lot of times we've seen that intensity just skyrocket here in heat number 2.
And starting on the front row, Brandon Gagnon, Kyle Mays.
Me, oh my. We got Derek Fulton there in the 3rd position. Christian Stanford in 4th, like you mentioned. Starting on row number 2, and I really think if I'm in that top 4, those first 2 rows, I'm just trying to set myself up here. I'm trying to set myself up to have a good finish. I'm wanting to get single file. I'm wanting this race to go calm. I'm not wanting any chaos. I'm just fine. But on the flip side of things, Atlee, if I'm, let's just say, Travis Paul in 12th position, Jeffrey Wallace in 13th, Shane Hensley, some of these guys near the back here, or even mid-pack, I got a little different strategy. I'm hoping it's chaotic. I'm hoping things happen in front of me and I avoid them. Let's see what happens here. The pace car's going to pull off. We'll go green flag racing in heat number 2.
Green, green, green.
Right, green flag is out here for heat race number 2. Starting this race Brandon Gagnon. We're side by side for the lead as we enter 1 and 2. Both drivers getting a good start. But then, looks like he's clear now, up to 55, Brandon Gagnon.
See a lot of drivers trying to get to that low side. Not a lot of momentum up there, not a lot of energy. So as they enter down the backstretch, Brandon Gagnon secured that lead for sure. And that top 5, like I said, as long as you're there, you're happy with single file.
Right. 50 is thinking about going up. Shout out for Drew Hopkins. Go get him. 57. Drew is right now in 7th place.
Yes. And single file looks like top 6, top 7 right now. Now they start shaking it up a little bit. Go to the outside line, trying to make something happen out there.
Yeah, it's been Kyle Mays who's been the leader of the high side. That's started this race. Has been able to get to the bottom. We're waiting to see if anybody else maybe goes up there. The 18 is thinking about it. Casey Pierce.
Kyle Mays, like you said, just all alone up there. Got a little bit of help, but it's on further back. Not really needed. He falls further on back here.
And this high side just can't get anything done.
Yeah, and we typically see the high side. In fact, we saw it a little bit in Heat 1 where they would make a run and get there. But we didn't see too much strength up there. As we finally might start seeing some help, but no, he dips back down.
Just thought about it, went up, tested the water, but must have been either too hot or too cold, so he goes back down. And, oh, maybe, well, it's like musical chairs. 57 goes up, he goes back down. 18 commits back up to the high side, and he's now the leader.
Casey Pierce there, trying to make something happen with Kyle. I don't know if he's going to make it. Maybe they get bumper. Oh, some contact made there.
Saved it. Drew Hopkins. That was a near incident. Luckily, saved it. Be careful.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that outside line let off the throttle and all there in the back. They picked up a few positions there, and they are slowly making their way to the front. Looks like at 57 is a little swirly. I know we had a shout out on Facebook. Must be battling some loose conditions here.
Well, this is a fixed setup lead. So it won't have anything to do with setup.
Well, you can change the steering ratio a little bit. I mean, it doesn't affect it that much. I mean, maybe if you've, really got that steering ratio low and you've got it turning really quickly, that can definitely make it a little loose in the corners, but we'll see. We got Casey Pierce really making a run on that outside line. Right now got Kyle Mays, and we know how good Kyle Mays is at pushing. And I think he can get Casey up there. He can really get there and get that momentum. He doesn't have too much help. There seems to be a gap left there behind Kyle. And that just seems to be the difference maker right now. Brandon Gagnon continues to lead.
He's getting a good run, that 18 machine of Casey Pierce. He's got about the rear quarter panel, or maybe a little bit less.
There it comes up. They're getting side by side now. So Brandon Gagnon did lead lap 6. But he's getting a little bit more there on the outside, Casey Pierce. But like I said, side-by-side racing all throughout the field. Look at that whole line is out side-by-side. A lot more intense than that first race where only a handful were side-by-side.
And all right, getting the nose about. Or yeah, he has the nose. Is the 18 of Casey Pierce.
Okay, so we saw him at the quarter panel. Then the next lap we saw him neck and neck. And then this lap we saw him get out the nose. Next lap, Atlee's taking the lead.
We'll see. It's going to play a lot in part of how well we can get some momentum off the turns. And also, we got to get the 55 of Kyle Mays to give him a good push. Kyle Mays to give him a good push. And that should give him some good momentum off of turn 2, on the back straightaway. Brandon Gagnon moves up to the high side to block.
And there's what I talked about in heat number 1. They left him out in the middle, but it looks like now the 18's getting left out on the high side.
because the 55 of Kyle Mays moved to help him in the middle. There's the 7 of Derek Fulton leading this race.
Wow, we had some bumping in the back of the pack, but they all seem to say that, at least for right now, is everybody's kind of scattering. Wow.
Yeah,
and here's the problem you see on the screen. You know, Kyle Mays is up there pushing Brandon Gagnon, but right now you see on the screen, you see that gap in front of this red car that we're looking at? That's the problem. You know, there's so much of a gap that they're not really getting the help they need.
At the same time, though, you don't want to push the pusher. We saw that in the NASCAR race, but that can go wrong.
Oh, absolutely. But now they got some help out here. See them check up, but after they actually get this sorted out, I think they're going to have some serious momentum here on the high side. Brandon Gagnon looked to taking the lead maybe this lap. Could be close. Ooh, yeah. Right.
But still, I mean, I think this slap or neck, he's going to take the lead. Watch, if Kyle Mays can get him, they can get some help behind them. They got it.
Yeah, I think so. Another driver right there we haven't talked a whole lot about tonight, I don't think at all, is Justin Yee. That 64, he's the one pushing Derek Fulton right now and giving him a good push, I should say, as he easily clears that outside line of Brandon Gagnon and Kyle Mays.
Right, yeah, he's just giving a great push. Ooh, somebody's heading down into the pits. Definitely not strategy, as we only have 5 to go. James Normoyle. Has some problems with the car.
Yeah, as you see in the screen, we have 6 laps to go, so it's winding down pretty quickly here. They're coming up on a lap car, but looks like he's going to stay high up there.
Yeah, and that's the respectful thing to do there. Gentlemen's move. Last time, though, we did see the lap car hit the wall. And also,
That is true.
Also remember, though, that Daytona's a lot skinnier compared to Talladega, so 3 wide or 4 wide is the Oh, we got people loose. Control it. All right, he gets down into the apron. I just get anxiety when people start spinning.
I thought we were about to see a Kevin LePage there as that car was entering back on the racetrack. Man, and all that chaos, Brandon Gagnon led that last lap, but it's still neck and neck right now with Derek Fulton at the front of the field.
But right now, the front of the field is currently not mattering to be looking at. We got to be checking out that 11th place and 10th place. This is for the final spot into the feature. And right now in 10th, we have John Ernst, but right close by him is the 028 of Jared Molsky. And also there's Joshua McKinney, but Joshua McKinney is a lap down, so he will really play a factor here in what happens.
Yeah, well, he potentially could if he pushes one of these drivers. Yeah. But I will say, I was about to say, if you look on back, there is a gaggle of cars back here. I think they're expecting a wreck up front, and they're wanting to avoid it. There's about 5 or 6 cars, about 15 seconds off the pace. I think they broke away intentionally, but now they've gotten really far behind, hoping and praying for a caution right now.
Either that, or when we saw all that spinning, they could have, potentially gotten away from the rest of the field because they got, separated because they slowed down while everybody else was still full throttle because they were trying to avoid it. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Either way, I can guarantee they're praying for a caution. As you see, well, you don't see, I see on my screen, though, there's some cars that are in the process of losing the draft right now because of that incident we saw earlier coming out of the tri-oval. But here we are. This time by, we will only have 2 laps to go.
Right now in that cutoff spot is the 71 of John Ernst. He's got a hard-charging Jared Molsky. Maybe some blinking there from John Ernst. You see 271. William John Ernst. I think Ernst is on top.
That is correct. Yeah, John Ernst is that top teal blue, the 71 there. Well, you confused me again. The 28, I know the neon green is the 28 of Jared Moiski. He's trying to get up there in that transfer position as well.
He's making a move here. There we go. No. Oh, and they're right in front of them right as they cross the start-finish line. Caution flag will not come out.
Got one in the fence.
Oh my gosh.
Upside down there, you see.
The 71 of William Ganem made it through. So, wait, Jared Nolsky. It's all changing. And looks like Anthony Cronover made the pass as John Ernst blew his engine. There he goes by everyone.
Brandon Gagnon, the whole field is wrecking up here, Atlee.
What in the world? Oh no. And caution will not come out. I'm not sure what is going on. William Ganem is in 10th place. He makes it by John Ernst, whose engine blew.
There was only 5 cars that were passing the start-finish line.
Now there's
Derek
John Ernst.
Fulton.
Oh no, he lost 10th as everybody flies by him. Shane Hensley in that 3 machine. He's in 10th, but he's got that 27 of Alexander Russell.
Oh my goodness, who's going to get it?
No, he's going to get it. Shane Hensley because the Pearson. Oh my gosh, what in the world?
Oh my land.
That was the craziest finish. Everybody on the track wrecked, including the people up front. That was crazy.
Well, that was one of the cleanest races we've ever had until that last lap.
Right, everything seemed to have been normal. And then,
my goodness, we got Derek Fulton, Christian Sanford, Brandon Gagnon, Kyle Mays, Justin Yee, Casey Pierce, Anthony Cronover, Ethan Toter, yes, Alexander Russell. Also in that list of those that made it along with that 10th place finisher. Oh my goodness. What a finish there. I didn't even know who was in the lead. I didn't know anything right there, Atlee.
Here we go. We are going to be doing our starting lineup for tonight's feature event. And starting on the pole is the one car. 47.827 was his time. Got Garrett Main. Starting second is the 87 of Raymond Rudenor II. Starting third is Matthew T. Lee. And outside of him, we have Andrew Navarro.
Yeah, inside of row 3, Matt Horton starting in 5th. Brandon Chaburko starting 6th in that 12 machine. Derek Fulton in the 7, who we just saw won heat number 2. He will start in the 7th position. And Thomas Stuckus in the 10 machine starting 8th.
Starting 9th, we have Christian Sanford. And rounding out our top 10, we have Colin Willems. 11th is going to be Brandon Gagnon. And starting 12th, we have Justin Botello.
Kyle Mays will roll off 13th in that 55. Hunter Parsons, last week's winner in the 00, he will start 14th. Starting 15th will be Justin Yee in the 64. John Garrett in the 66 will roll off P16.
Rolling off P17, we have Casey Pierce. Outside of him, David Cardwell. Starting 19th, we have Anthony Cronover. And rounding out our top 20, we have Crystal King.
Starting 21st, Ethan Toter in the 23 machine. Wyatt C. Martin made his way into the field in that 06. He will roll off P22. 23rd, Alexander Russell in the 45. Tyler Payne, 59, barely made his way in. Starting 24th and 25th in the final position tonight, Shane Hensley barely, I'm talking about barely made it in that 3 machine after the chaos we saw in the heat number 2. And you see the pace car lights are off. We will start this 25 car field. It'll be 30 laps here, this main feature. Remember that top paid position will be $300. Garrett Main starting in pole, hoping he'll end in the front as well, as I'm sure all of these are. Remember the top 5, they qualified their way in. They did not race their way in. So they got to sit back and watch all this chaos that we've seen tonight. Raymond Rittenor, remember, was my driver. John Garrett was yours. Keep that in mind, Atlee.
Now remember, with Shane Hensley starting last, Hunter Parsons started last race, and he won the race. So don't count out anybody. Anybody can win this. And somebody spins right as we start.
Wow, no caution. Looks like David Cardwell was that driver.
Yeah, that has to hurt. Get too much in the action before you start again getting too much in the action. Make sure to share the stream so it does give exposure to the drivers that are racing right now, the league and the sponsor. So make sure to do that. As right now taking the lead, Garrett Maines has a new paint scheme, changing from that 1 now in that 2 machine.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of confusing for me, as we also have Andrew Navarro in the 2 machine as well. So keep that in mind as we roll through tonight.
And right now, speaking of that 2, he's getting a good run on the high side. Good push for second.
Yeah, Crystal King coming down pit road. She must have had something to do with the incident in the beginning. I'm not really sure. Can't confirm that, but I don't know why she would be coming down pit road. Is that inside line is starting to make its way ahead here. Put that outside line to get going, though, as we go down the backstretch.
Looks
there
like
she
Crystal
is.
King. Right, like you said, in the pits.
Yeah, there was just some talk on the radio, and it looks like she may have been involved there. So, nevertheless, tough break for David there. Cardwell in the 17 machine. He is 25th. Hopefully, he can get a quick caution and get right back in this thing. If not, he will ultimately go a lap down, as he's out there all by himself with a hurt car on top of that.
Actually, no, now he's in 23rd again.
Well, correct. That's correct.
He's 26 seconds away from the leaders.
Andrew Navarro getting some challenges now. We got 2 number 2s out there leading this field. The bottom orange 2 is Garrett Maines. Top white number 2, Andrew Navarro.
All right, that's how we can remember it. Both of them are Toyotas as well.
So orange is Garrett Maines. How about that? White is Andrew Navarro. Andrew Navarro leading that top side is, I want number 2 now. If it's going to lead at Daytona, I want it. Give me that number 2.
I got to say this. Let me address the Garrett Maines won a race because Matthew T. Lee was his pusher. Matthew pushed him all throughout the race, and he ended up pushing him to the win. And look, they're hooked up right now. This is like, when these 2 are hooked up, all the other drivers are scared. So just keep that in mind.
Well, if you're Matthew T. Lee, I got to ask this elephant in the room question. Are you content with running second again? Well, yeah, I think he actually finished 3rd last time.
I want to point out that all 3 of these drivers, Garrett Maines, the 04 Matthew T. Lee, and Andrew Navarro, are all part of the CGE, Richley Gallant Engineering. Okay,
well, that changes things a lot then, because they're probably going to split the pot. And what Andrew Navarro could be doing on the outside line is actually holding him up on purpose. That way they all 3 stay out front. I know I've done that a time or 2, and I've had teammates in a race just to stay up front and keep control of the race. So they might be doing that. I can't confirm that. That's just speculation. But it's definitely a possibility. Right now, they are controlling the race.
I realize that Curtis Richley, the name that I mentioned, down here, he's not in this race anymore. He's a regular.
Yeah, he is. He's usually up front as well. They're coming up on that lap car pretty quickly here.
Right, and that is David Cardwell, the driver who spun it early on in this race. And he's blinking a little bit. That has to be scary for all the other drivers. I hope nobody wrecked him.
No, it's been on race control said during the driver meeting that they had to be on the high line. And this league, if you're getting lapped, you have to stay on that high line. It looked like he was not going to do that. It looked like he was going to stay on the bottom after being told to get to the top. So he has been removed from the race. But, yeah.
win, there's that.
Yeah, so not a good night from him at all. Gets that bad luck early on, and I don't know if he didn't hear race control or I don't know what happened there, but no longer has a chance to win it. As you see, Andrew Navarro trying to make a run on that outside line. He's got the push behind him from Brandon Saberto. Just not able to make it happen, or like I said, is he not wanting to make it happen? That would be the question. I'll be very interested to see if he ever got out in front of Garrett Maines, if he actually takes the lead.
You see, and that's going to be large in part to whether if Brandon Schuberko is going to give him a good push. There you go, hits that back bumper, starting to bump draft with Andrew Navarro. As you can see, the momentum, and then he falls behind him.
Yeah, and see, that's what makes me question, is he doing it on purpose or not? And I'm not trying to give away secrets or not. It seems like I am after qualifying. But, there he goes. He finally left him out there on the high line. That's what I figured. If other drivers start picking up on that, they will leave you. They will make a third row and just leave you in the dust, and that's what happened there, I think.
Here comes another CGE driver, Brandon Gagnon, joining the party. Oh, no, he's not.
Got some good racing here. Crystal came on the radio, so she's coming high here on the drive to her. So hopefully that won't be any issue. Oh, we got a spinner in the back.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Caution is out. Caution is out.
If there wasn't any other drivers involved, I don't think it... Oh, no, caution comes out.
Yeah. Just the 2-car incident, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a big incident.
We'll see with this record replay. Just to, even if it wasn't a big incident, we'll still check her out, see what happened.
The 59 there's what we're seeing.
All right. Now it looks like he got on the apron, but we'll see the full thing. But I think that's the main cause of this.
Yeah, this is Tyler Payne here in the 59 machine. It's going to be given this EOL. That'll be his first warning here.
Right,
We'll
so
take a
here
look
it
at
is.
it.
So entering into turns 3 and 4, looks like he got onto the yellow line, which can definitely disorient the car because it's kind of like a crook in the track, and there he goes back onto the yellow line. And he gets...
And that's what I saw out of the corner of my eye. I just saw him spinning there. And, yeah, overcorrects, goes into the 64.
Justin Yee involved in that one. 3 able to avoid it. Shane Hensley. And then a lot of people brake and slow down to avoid it.
Yeah, it's always amazed me how most of these drivers are back here just trying to get through the race in case there's an early caution, just trying to settle back and miss it. And like I mentioned several times, I hate that strategy because usually that's where the wrecks are sometimes. So, yeah, tough break for those guys, especially Justin Yee, just trying to make it through there. But as we look back at the top of our field, we see the orange number 2, Garrett Maines. He will take the top on this restart. And we'll get green flag racing here next time by.
All right.
No, we will not. The pace car lights are still on.
Well, yeah, you did say though that next time... Oh, yeah, well, next time by. No, yeah, lights on the pace car still stay on. So far, pretty good race. Oh, that
absolutely.
Early drama with David Cardwell gilded on the start.
A lot of good side-by-side racing here. It looks really like that CGE team taking control of the race, especially Garrett Maines and Matthew Lee. Andrew Navarro is falling back to 6th after he got taken over by Brandon Chaburko. Brandon Chaburko sitting 3rd right now. But yeah, pretty good race all in all. I mean, you've had opportunities to make it up to the front, and you've had opportunities to make it to the back, I guess, as some of these drivers have found their way. One of those being Justin Botello. I know he was up there earlier in the top 10. Now he's back in the 16th position.
It looks like we do have a shout out for number 83, Brandon Gagnon from Sean Spinoza. And also Sandy Steele says, let's do this drill. Number 57.
Giving a shout out right now personally to Alexander Russell. You know, he started 23rd and is up to 8th. Definitely the biggest mover of the race. 15 spots right now. And we'll see how high he can go tonight in that 45 machine.
Remember again, Hunter Parsons started in last place, and he ended up finishing first. So anything's possible.
Yeah, John Garrett, Raymond Rittenauer, our two drivers that we picked, sitting 19th and 22nd right now. Looks like Raymond started this race in second. I'm not sure how he got back to 22nd. Matt D. Horton also started 5th. He's falling back now to 20th position.
Because I remember
I'll go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that. I remember we were looking at the other incident, and Raymond Rittenauer was second. When we went back live, he was all the way in like 19th. So, I mean, I'm not sure where he went.
Yeah, I don't know if he pitted there or
No,
or
he
what.
didn't pit, or I would have known. Oh, we're at 979 followers on Facebook. We got one more to 980. So if anybody watching right now, whether on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, has not already followed us on Facebook, make sure to do that as we're going for that milestone.
Well, not just for the milestone, but we're setting up to have a great finish here, as we only have about 27 laps to go. So, or 27, it's only 30 laps. How about 17 laps to go? As we are getting ready to go green flag racing, we're setting up for a really good finish here. So if you got any racing friends, we'd like to see a good race now, do a good time to share so they can get in on time.
Here we go. Getting excited for this restart after our first caution. Watch that pace car dip off.
Green, green, green.
Back green
And
here.
green flag. Yeah, Garrett Main's got a great jump on the outside line. As we saw a couple of weeks ago, he jumped down right in front of Matthew T. Lee. I think that was designed. And I think that they will start pushing just like they have been this whole race.
And I mean, I saw that happen a couple of times in NASCAR last weekend, and I'm like, oh, he did a Garrett Maines. Like, I associate that move with Garrett Maines because he does it so much.
But I tell you, it's not really working out for him as good as it did last time. He's got some trouble brewing on the outside line of Derek Fulton trying to take this lead. He's out there.
Yeah, Derek Fulton's getting a good push from that 2 machine of Andrew Navarro.
I'm telling you what, I think he might lead this lap here. No, that inside line got the push they needed.
Nope, couldn't quite get it, but still, that I think if they can get a good run in the turns and then off on the back straightaway, you might see that 7 up front pretty soon. They do only have 4 cars on that high side, so I mean, I don't know how much can get done with just 4 cars.
And again, I'm impressed with Derek Fulton staying right there neck and neck with Garrett Maines down on the inside line of the 3 wide back there. Looked like Brandon Chaburko got shuffled out there, or he might be trying to make something happen there on the high line.
He might be asking for some, maybe trying to start a 3rd line.
He's got Colin Williams, who's a really good pusher. So if he wants to go somewhere, Colin's definitely the driver to help him out. Yeah, look, there goes Colin up there with him. I don't know if they have I don't know if they're connected enough to make something happen right now. Maybe they are, as Colin's getting a good run. He's got help behind him. They might make it 3 wide here. They do. Going down to 3.
Wow, what a turn of events right here. Got Casey Pierce up there. Tom Moustakis is also up there.
Oh. Sorry, Brandon got a little loose up there. He got a wrong push from Colin, but that's going to send him forward. He's trying to get up there to that 7 car. Derek Fulton, he's there. 3 wide now for the lead here. He's neck and neck with Garrett Maines.
Garrett Maines, 12 of Brandon Schuberko pulls down in front of Derek Fulton.
I have to admit, Atlee, I never thought when we were talking about them making the third lane, I never thought they would make it to the front, but they have making it work here. Look at that beautiful shot right there.
Yep, we're 3 wide from the leaders. Here comes Colin Willems on that third line. At Daytona, of all tracks, you would have thought that they might have tried to do this last week at Talladega, but we didn't see much of that. But here we are at Daytona. I love this. This is awesome.
It's crazy. Colin Williams, last time, he was P8. Right? This time, he's battling for the lead through right on the highway. That's crazy.
Oh, but then the third line starts to fall out. Finally lost its momentum. Good things, all good things come from it. But oh, Justin Matello moves up there, trying to start another.
Yeah, I think if Brandon Chaberto would have stayed out there with them, I think that they could have made it work for a lot of laps, but he ducked down into that second line, and that just fizzled out up there.
It was fun while it lasted. But we might see it again with closing laps as we're nearing 10 to go. It's go time, so for anybody who was like holding back and waiting for the caution, it's go time, don't hold back. Oh, and we're speaking of cautions, the 9 car is spinning in. The second caution of the night is going to come out here at Daytona International.
Ethan Toder in the 23 involved. The 6 cars involved. And not looking good there.
See, there could be a whole, we gotta just see this story, because, alright, so here we go. So, watch the 10 and the 3, they make some contact with each other. That sends the 10 up the track, and the 9 car made it, 10 spins, oh, and he thought, he came back down, and looks like he just clipped a teensy little bit of the 9 machine. Maybe some net code. We gotta.
And while you're thinking about that, Atlee, I just said, back here trying to just watch this race and stay out of trouble. Look at John Garrett here. Maybe even thinks he's through it here, and no, he comes back up and gets more cars involved that were probably just staying back here to stay out of trouble. And
Right.
we saw three wide there, like 3 or 4 deep, and nobody wrecks. But back here,
right.
oh me, that's why I do not like this strategy right here. Hunter Parsons also involved there, last week's winner.
Man, that's a shame, because he could have pulled off 2 in a row. No, he's not done yet, I don't think. He's still got a chance in 18th. But when the caution flag came out, even though Chuberko had the high side going, Garrett Maines was the leader when the caution flag came out.
Yeah, as we come up to lap number 19, that'll leave us 12 laps to go here in this race at Daytona. I'm almost willing to bet my paycheck again that Garrett Maines is going to take this outside line and duck down in front of Matthew Lee again.
Uh-oh. I think I might have cursed John Garrett. Is
No.
it coming back? I thought I lost my powers. It used to be where back in like when we were doing like the short track Super League, I would say a driver and like a lap later they'd be spinning, but I lost it. Whenever I would pick a driver, they do fine. They do fine, maybe like third or second. They wouldn't win, but they do fine. But now, I'm sorry, John Garrett, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. You're still in 19th. You can still win, but I'm sorry.
I was about to say the driver I picked didn't do too hot himself, Raymond Rittenor. I mean, he did make it through that wreck barely. But yeah, John Garrett right with him.
As when we restart, I think we're gonna, when they cross the line, it's gonna be 10 to go. When we restart, it's gonna be 9 to go. So this is go time. A lot more. We're gonna see a lot less given and taken.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethan Toder, involved in that wreck, did get a fast repair, so he's back in 22nd right now, and looking to make his way back up to the front after that. You can still do it with even 9 laps to go. It can still be done coming from all the way back there, back to the front. It's just a little bit more harder than what Garrett Maines on your screen is going to have.
We're going to do just a quick flyby of the field to see where your favorite driver is. And before we start getting back into the action, we've seen some shout outs, but if you haven't already, make sure to shout out the driver that you're cheering for. Or if you didn't really come here to watch someone, maybe just make a blind pick on who's your prediction to win this race.
I'm going to call it now. We have 10 laps to go. We're at, what, 170 or 979? Is that correct? How many likes are we at right now?
979.
So if we can get 21, if we can get up to 1,000 likes before this stream is over, which we have 10 laps and we have some interviews. 1,000 followers. I stand corrected. 1,000 followers on Facebook. I will commit, Atlee, right here, right now, to shaving my head. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it on Facebook. If we can get 1,000 tonight.
You heard it here first. If we can get Intensity Broadcasting to 1,000 followers by the end of this broadcast, Mr. Dustin Dean will shave his head.
And let me tell you, it's cold outside, so I will not enjoy that. I can promise you that. My head is going to be cold for a while.
But let's take a look back at the racing that we're about to see. Waiting for pace car to pull in Jeff Bodine.
Jeff Bodine still driving that pace car and doing a pretty good job of it. He always turns in the perfect time.
Green.
Right, and he does a fantastic job. And we're back green here as Barney the flagman is waving his flag here.
Man, look at that. Matthew T. Lee giving a great push to Garrett Maines. Brandon Chaburko trying to make it work, but not going to have the momentum here in turn 1. But I think on the backstretch, him and Derek Fulton make a run at it.
Oh, it looks like Jay Dodge the third and followed us, and we've now hit 980. So thank you. Hope you're enjoying the race so far, as we're now with 9 to go.
Matthew Lee staying steady right there on Garrett Maines. As the outside, it seems to be.
Oh, and
there it is. Derek Fulton
Caution is
around.
out. Caution
Derek
is
Fulton around. A bunch of cars around this time. Here's the big one we've been dreading this night.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the big one, or maybe the mini big one.
Colin Williams involved in that. Hunter Parsons again. Raymond Rittenor right there. John Garrett. All those involved. Ethan Toder in the 23. He's involved as well. Let's go back to where it started here. We see the 27 diving under there. And I don't know if Derek came down a little bit or what happened here.
Yeah, he was just trying to make a move, aggressive, as we're in the waning laps. But just got a little bit too close to Derek Fulton, made some contact, and then we see our infamous race car sandwich. And that's always a terrible situation. Race car sandwiches are disgusting, as it causes wrecks like this one. As look at all these people getting involved. Colin Williams, 28, Anthony Cronover.
I've counted 10 cars at least getting a touch so far.
Shane Hensley able to avoid it. There you go. That was the incident here that brought out our third caution of the night. And when the caution flag came out, Mr. Garrett Maines was in the lead.
I'm glad I didn't bet my paycheck, because actually Garrett Maines stayed down there on the bottom. He had Matthew Lee behind him, but this time he will be starting beside him. As you see, 7 laps to go here. We'll have probably, I would say, about 5 laps to go when we go green flag.
Right, it's gonna be in the nitty gritty. It's time. It's go time. If you haven't gone already, It's go time.
What is it going to take to break up Garrett Maines and Matthew Lee?
It's going to take some aggressive driving. They need to get that high side going. Some pushers, got to get a lot of good pushing. And if they can do that, they'll get around Garrett Maines.
I just think if you're Brandon Gagnon sitting in 4th, Kristen Sanford sitting in 5th, Andrew Navarro still back there in 6th, wasn't able to quite make his way all the way back to the front as he slipped back there. I think for these guys, like you're saying, it's time for these aggressive moves. Garrett Maines is going to take the top here. But as we make these, or as we wind down the laps, it is time for those aggressive moves. It's time to really start making it, maybe, get that outside line stronger, maybe even making it 3 wide. We saw it work one time.
But then the next time they tried to make it 3 wide, it did not go very well. That's exactly what caused that last caution. Trying to make it 3 wide.
Yeah, as Garrett Maines has left the pace car there. The pace car left him. Got warned by race control there. Do not get that far away from the pace car, as he could really stack up the field on a restart if he gets too much of a good run like that. But yeah, 5 laps to go. Getting down to it here.
Yep, we are now, again, in the nitty-gritty of this race. 5 laps to go, 5-lap shootout. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? $300 on the line, potentially $370 if you can keep it clean and win the race.
What are the chances we have a green-white checkered here?
Chances of a green-white checkered, 80% chance. Green-white checkered.
I say 87.2% is what I have in my calculator. Just joking around with you tonight, Alan.
That could be something. So what the average, let's see, how many races in this series have we seen a green-white checkered? Might be something to look at, but
I think that's probably 87.27% right there, for real. It's happened a lot. I do remember that one race where the whole field crashed except like 2 cars on the last lap.
oh, that was
Here we go. Pace car's going off. Garrett Maines.
Green, green, green.
There he goes. He takes that green flag and going to dive straight down in front of Matthew Lee. Get that great push he's been getting all night. That'll leave the 83 of Brandon Gagnon right there with the help of Andrew Navarro on the outside line.
So the average last caution in the Daytona 500 is lap 2.7. Keep that in mind.
That's exactly right. But I will say these top 5 have broken away from the rest of the field, and it's now 3 versus 2. You got 3 on the inside, 2 on the outside. Brandon Gagnon trying to make it happen. Oh no, he just got left by Andrew Navarro, and yeah, he's out there to dry now. No, there comes Andrew back up.
That's actually Brandon Schuberko in that 12 machine.
Yeah, that's right. And that is the car we saw take it 3 wide and take it to the lead. So hopefully you can get it going on the outside line here. Is now that outside line has a lot of cars up there. That'll get that momentum flowing.
Maines, Lee, and the 2 of Andrew Navarro are all CGE drivers, and they're grouped up with each other.
Yeah, look at that outside line, though, getting a strong push. In fact, Brandon Gagnon clear now. Garrett Maines goes down in front of him. We ask, what's it going to take to break these 2 up? Well, here it is. They lost the lead to Brandon Gagnon. Now what can the outside line do? Oh, Garrett Maines takes it high.
Wait. Oh, I thought they made contact there. That was close. But Garrett Maines
I think they did make slight contact. Yeah, after all, Garrett Maines still led that lap.
He's getting a good run on the high side. But even if he does get a good lead and moves down to the bottom, he'll be separated from Matthew T. Lee.
I think that was everybody's goal, but now Brandon Chaburko trying to push Garrett Maines to the lead. There you see, gets that nose ahead, maybe even up to the quarter panel, not clear though.
Not quite for Garrett Maines. Got close. I think maybe next lap.
Some really good racing all through the field though. They're all side by side, keeping it pretty steady right now. As we come to 2 to go this time by, I can't believe how steady they're keeping it. Can't believe we don't see some 3-wide action yet. I'm sure we will as we get down. Like I said, 2 laps to go. Garrett Maines making it happen on the high side. They're making that 3-wide up there, Atlee.
The only lap that matters is the
Oh,
final.
there's
Oh
wrecking,
my
wrecking.
gosh, we're
All right,
wrecking.
man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Big
Oh,
cars
well.
flying in the air. Goodness gracious. Man, let's
There you
check
see
out
the
that
top
wrecking
4.
track
That's
one.
the only 4 cars that made it
Right.
through there.
Yeah, no, that was the big one. That was the big one. That last one was nothing compared to this one.
You're right. I'm talking about just more carnage too. Last time, yeah, there were some wrecks, but everybody seemed to be okay afterwards. I don't think anybody's okay after this one. As you take a look at this right here.
I do have some sad news. Poor Dogecoin, again, greatest cryptocurrency on the planet. Sponsored machine got wrecked. That's sad. But let's take a look what happened.
It looks like he shot to the moon, and then he fell hard to the earth.
Oh, no. Yeah, but there you go. Some contact with Andrew Navarro.
Well, we got clipped there by the 64 of Justin Yee.
There he goes. Gets back into the 64. 9 cars involved. Crystal King gets in it. Whichever Fort Worth screen printing car, there's 2 of them. It's Botello is the one that got involved.
One car up on another car right there. Wow,
Whoa!
goes up under
That's
him.
Andrew Navarro. I'd love to see the view from his point of view from that incident.
Wow, there's the 50, and from race control, the 50 of Christian Sanford will be the cause of that caution. As he saying he left a gap there that shouldn't have been there and then came back down on the 64. Let's take a look at that again and see if that's actually what happened here. Yeah, I mean, I see he's trying to go 3 wide maybe, and he's just trying to see if the 64 will go with him, it looks like. And maybe he just left too much of a gap there and tried to come down, close that hole after it was already closed. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's
See if that's the case.
So he moves up. Maybe he was just getting some cool air. Yeah, the 64 moved up with him, thinking that, hey, I can push you if you want to make it 3 wide. Then he goes back down.
Yeah, he's like, if you're going to stay down or stay up there, then that's fine. I'll go to the middle.
I think he thought he was clear. He did think he was clear, but he went right across his nose.
Yeah, and this is slowed down so much that when you're racing, it is that close, and it's a split-second decision of, am I clear, am I not clear? Look how close that was to being clear. If he would have came down a half a second earlier, I think it would have been fine.
Now let's take a look at Andrew Navarro's view. Let's actually do like a speed run. Not in slow motion. Let's just see how fast everything happened.
I mean, yeah, you think you're fine, and then you're not fine. Whoa, Andrew Navarro gets really up in the air. Yeah, let's take a ride along with Andrew if we can.
Yep. But again, poor Dogecoin. I mean,
take the elevator up to 2nd floor here.
Now this is a view that not a lot of people get to see. This is the view that Andrew Navarro is seeing, and this is at real time as well. Oh, up in the air.
And that 64 goes right underneath him. That's crazy.
Man.
Thought he had it saved there for a second. I'm sure he did too. And then it just did the hook and back up the track. Well, we were right. Green, white, checkered attempt number 1 is 1 lap away from starting. And that leaves Garrett Maines as your leader down there on the low side. Brandon Gagnon is being scored as your leader. He takes the top side. Garrett Maines there on the inside is technically in second.
Now Again, the average last caution of the race was with 2.7 laps to go, and we saw it with 2 laps to go. So, accurate prediction.
Yeah, Matthew T. Lee back again behind Garrett Maines. So I don't see, they got broken up last time. I don't see that happening again as we only have 2 laps to go. But I could be wrong. Brandon Gagnon might get a strong push from Brendan Chaburko. I know they worked well that little stretch right there before the caution, so maybe it'll happen again. John Garrett just pointing out here that he's made his way back into the top 10. So trying to salvage a good finish after being in 2 wrecks so far.
I do think that... Oh, go on.
I was just saying neither one of them was his fault, but go ahead.
I do think that Gagnon's going to pull a Maines and just get a good run. As the leader does pull the restart, so he can get in front of him.
Yeah, that's pretty smart, actually. Matthew T. Lee and Garrett Maines have completely controlled this until they got separated. And so, yeah, instead of trying to separate them, let me just get in front of them and let them push me. I don't know. Let's see here. Pace car pull off.
Green.
And you see Brandon Gagnon gets a good run on the outside line. Will he dive low?
Don't want to get the old too far out first.
I think he's waiting on Brandon to get there. He's not going to get there. He'll
he
dive
does.
low. Oh, he does. You're right. Barely cleared him, but he does. So they do keep Garrett Maines and Matthew Lee from getting that top spot. But here we go. On the back stretch. It's going to happen. A lap and a half to go here at Daytona.
Yeah, this is...
All right, man.
Caution is out.
Caution? What?
Yeah, there was a spinner back in the back. It doesn't look like too big of an incident. But that will set us up for a second attempt. We'll get that wreckage replay wound up for you. But let me point out, Brandon Gagnon and Brandon Chaburko, as you saw there, both got by Garrett Maines and Matthew T. Lee. So not only is that going to take them out of the front row, they will actually be starting side by side on this restart in that 3rd, 4th position. Here we go. Let's take a look at what happened here. Brought out this first green-white checker attempt. Brought an end to that first attempt. Excuse me.
Gonna be attempt number 2, but let's take a look at what happened. Who came up? Oh, netcode maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that did look like netcode. The 59 there.
Yeah,
he's getting hard into that outside wall. Tyler Payne.
So I don't think we can see. Was that so? It was his left rear quarter panel. We can actually find a view with the left rear quarter panel, right there.
It's the right rear.
Oh no, was that? No, it was the left rear of what's his face? Hunter Parsons. Or no, it was the right rear of him. So let's take a look whether this was netcode or not.
No touch, no touch, no touch. As they come off here, let's see what happens. Maybe the 59 slides high just a tad there, you see. And netcode.
Yeah, that was netcode.
Oh, there's a great shot of the engine.
Ever wonder what the engine looks like?
I didn't realize the 59 got up off the ground there. It got up into the air.
But that was a good view. That definitely explained a lot of things there.
Yeah, we should watch that view for netcode more often. That was a really clear view.
We head back in real time when the caution flag came out. Like you said, him and Brandon Chaburko got a great run on that restart. And Brandon Gagnon is the leader.
Absolutely. Started 11th, now leading this show. Brandon Chaburko just pushed him right out in front of Garrett Maines and Matthew T. Lee. I couldn't believe how much momentum they had there on that high line with just the 2 of them. But they proved that they could do it out there. And so that really puts me in a predicament now. If you're Matthew T. Lee and you're Garrett Maines, you're starting beside each other, you've been in control, pushing each other this whole race, and now you're not really separated, but you're not back-to-back like you have been. So I wonder if they're going to play together or if they're going to find another dance partner.
Right. That's the big question. Who's going to be working with who? That's the game here.
So if you're Brendan Gagnon, I assume that you would take that high line again and do the same thing you just did.
It worked out.
You have Garrett Maines pushing you now if you do. Oh, no, actually, you have Matthew T. Lee on the outside pushing you. That's right.
I mean, the ideal situation, even though I'm not sure it will happen, is he just wants to get... Well, no, it will. So he's going to choose the high side. So then he can get a good run on the restart and then move down in front of Chuberko.
Yeah, my only concern with that is then you're leaving the top side open to Matthew T. Lee. And then if Garrett Maines jumps up there, then they're right back together. On the high line, you know, where all that momentum's been tonight. At least here in this heat. I mean, here in the feature, it hadn't been in the heat.
They listened to what you said, and looks like Gagnon's going to be starting on the bottom, and I think the 12 is going to try to hold up or get a good run on the top.
Yeah, that would be my thing, especially if the 12 and the 83 of Gagnon are working together. I don't know if they are, but they certainly have worked well together tonight. I would almost want to be on the inside line, let my teammate start on the outside of me and jump up in front of him on that outside line and just stay up there. That's something we haven't seen too much of in the Superspeedway Series. Even though the outside line has all the momentum, it seems like I haven't seen too many drivers, you know, when they get to the lead, stay out there and just lead on that outside line. We see it in NASCAR all the time. You know, they get lined up and they run that outside train. But don't see it too often here in the Superspeedway Series, but we might very well see it here as we come to our second attempt at our green white checker.
A lot of times they do that with, like, when they're waiting for pit stops, but here, I mean, fuel isn't really an issue in this league. It is if you go too far, though. If there's, like, I'm not sure, like, how much, whether it's, like, 0% or 3% or 54%. But there goes Jeff Bodine into the pits. We are going to be going back for our, is this the second or third green white checker?
This is the second attempt, and Brandon Gagnon didn't get a great jump. In fact, the 12 of Brandon Chuberko stayed right beside him. You know what? They might have made a deal with, hey, I don't care who wins. Let's just keep these guys behind us. As Garrett Maines giving Brendan Gagnon a push of a lifetime right now, sitting way out there in front. Here comes that outside line. Caution again. We've got 3, 4, 5 cars involved back here, about halfway through back to the field. And that will send us to attempt number 3 at a green white checkered as we get this wreckage replay wound up for you again. Again, our leader is Brandon Chuberko this time. Brandon Gagnon ends up second. There you see the car, one car involved in this multi-car accident. We'll back it up and take a look at what happened.
Ooh, so yeah, in there. Oh, it happened a little bit in front of them.
Is that John Garrett up there?
No, he's ahead of that. That's
Okay.
Patello. He's the Fort Worth screen printing machine. But there they go. That's the 55 of Kyle Mays. Made some contact with Andrew Navarro. Sanford in the Dogecoin car avoids it. Ooh, there we go. 87 in the wall. Crystal King gets involved. There goes Cronover through the
It almost
infield.
looked like everybody had it saved, and then, you know, people were checking up, and we've seen that before where people check up and a secondary wreck happens, and that looks like what happened here.
Yeah, seems about right. As looks like this is gonna be our final green white checkered attempt.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar, maybe you're watching for the first time, during this last green white checkered, if they take the green, which they will, if a yellow comes out before they take the white flag, that will be it. The race will be over. It will freeze how they are racing right at that point, and that will be how they finish up. Now, if they make it all the way back around and take the white flag, at that point, it doesn't matter if the whole field wrecks. We will finish this thing on the green. They will make it all the way back around. So whoever crosses that finish line first will win the race again, no matter what happens after that yellow or that white flag. Excuse me. We will finish under green. Now the pace car still has the lights on, so we'll go another lap at least here before going back to green. This was only a 30-lap race, but we're on lap 39 now with these green-white checkers.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a pretty long race.
After being involved in that wreck there, Justin Botello sitting in that 10th position. So, like I said, he saved it, and then other cars behind him were affected from it. Hunter Parsons, last week's winner, back in 14th position.
Still got a chance.
Yeah, John Garrett. I hate to bring out Atlee's curse again, but he's up to 8th. So he's there. I don't know if he can do it in 2 laps from the 8th position, but he's going to try. Remember, the top 3 get paid. So you at least want to be in the top 3 at least.
By the way, Dustin, I do have something to tell you that'll make you feel better. Only I can bring out the curse.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So I can mention John Garrett as much as I want to.
Oh, yeah,
Sweet.
you can say John Garrett. Oh, no.
Howard. Oh, and John Garrett in the wall right now just because Atlee said his name. I'm just kidding, folks. Just kidding. Atlee, where are we at on Facebook followers? Just wondering if I need to get that razor ready for tomorrow.
We're at 980.
Still at 980. Okay. Okay, just making sure.
Oh, but how about this? If we do eventually hit 1,000 on a Friday night, I mean...
How about this? I'll just sweeten the pot. If we hit 1,000 followers, I'll shave my head. Doesn't matter when. And whenever we hit $1,000 to celebrate, I'll shave my head, and we'll make a spectacle out of it.
No, I do have a question for you, Dustin.
Yes, I do look good, dog. Yes, that's what you were gonna ask.
No, what is the gravity challenge? Can you explain this to me?
Okay, so the gravity challenge. If you have not heard of it, folks, you got to see this thing. It's a center of gravity thing, I guess they're calling it. I don't know. Bill Nye or somebody's gonna have to explain to me the physics of it. But it's a challenge that supposedly women can do and men cannot, and it's I can't explain it. You'll just have to Google that one, the gravity challenge. But yeah, my wife.
So can you do it, Dustin?
No, my wife had me do it. She can do it, but I cannot, and supposedly no men can. So yeah, face planted on the floor. You'll get a good laugh out of that.
Can the dog do it?
I'm gonna go with yes.
You think he can do the gravity challenge?
Confirmed. The dog can do the gravity challenge. What are we talking about? Let's get back racing here, as we have gone way off track. Speaking of off track, the pace car is going right now. Garrett Main's trying to make it work on that high line. Brandon Gagnon leads them down. Garrett Main's getting a good run right now with Matthew Lee pushing him.
Man, don't test Matthew Lee and Garrett Maines. Matthew Lee giving Garrett a great push. Chuberko and Gagnon on the bottom.
I'll tell you what, right there is the best 2 pushers in this league, guaranteed. We've seen it over and over. Brandon Chuberko and Matthew T. Lee. And this is going to be one heck of a finish here tonight, as we got the 2 best pushers, in my opinion, pushing 2 of the most aggressive, passionate drivers.
Maines keeping Chuberko low, like he's pushing him down.
Yeah, there he goes, back on the high line. And I think as we take the white flag, I think it's going to be all bars on hold here as we are headed down into turn 1. And I think now is go time. Now I don't care about teammates. Now I don't care about anything. I just want to win. Garrett Maines gets taken out there. No, he saves it. Garrett Maines saves it, but we have some more wreckage back in the back. We got one car flipped over. We'll go back and take a look at that after the race. But right now, we're keeping it on these top 3. Brandon Gagnon, Matthew T. Lee on the high line. Brendan Chuberko there in the 12. Matthew T. Lee trying to make it squeeze in, but he will not. Brandon Chuberko might have a run here coming off the 4.
Or is he going to push Gagnon to the win? We'll see. All right, Chuberko goes up.
I don't think he has the momentum. I don't think he has the momentum. Oh, Brandon Gagnon with the win.
What a finish.
Brandon Chuberko second. There's your finish. Matthew T. Lee coming home in third. He just didn't have the run he needed off of turn 4. I think if he would have had just a little bit more, he would have got it. But, man, there's your finish. That's how close it was. And he made a run there on the high line.
He did. That was close, but, man, Brandon Gagnon takes the win here.
John Garrett made it back to the top 5.
Looks like, man, what a great race here at Daytona.
Yeah, I was just going to say Garrett Maines did limp it around to a 7th position. Remember, he wasn't one of the ones that really got a bad crash. But let's see Brandon Gagnon burn it down here at Daytona. He's going to wait for these cars to pass first.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yo.
Taking it through the grass. Look at that car being respectful back there.
Oh, that's Matthew T. He's just watching. Or he might join. Nope. There he goes.
Oh, here you go.
And we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go ahead and do the driver interviews. Oh, no, let's actually do the finishing results. We got to do that. So, finishing first with there's the gap, only 0.02 of a second. Brandon Gagnon is your winner. Second place was Brandon Chuberko. Third was Matthew T. Lee. Finishing fourth was Tom Mustakas. Running out your top 5 was John Garrett. 6th ended up being Alexander Russell. 7th was Garrett Maines. 8th was Kyle Mays. Finishing 9th was Andrew Navarro. And rounding out your top 10 was Anthony Cronover. 11th was last week's winner, Hunter Parsons. 12th was Shane Hensley. 13th was Matt D. Horton. 14th ended up being Derek Fulton. And rounding out your top 15 is Ethan Toadter. Finishing 16th was Colin Willems. 17th was Casey Pierce. 18th ended up being Wyatt C. Martin. Finishing 19th was Christian Sanford. And rounding out your top 20 is Raymond Ridenour II. Now, the rest of these drivers were either a lap down or more. Justin Botello finished 21st. Justin Yee, 22nd. Crystal King ended up finishing 23rd. Tyler Payne, 24th. And finishing last but not least, we have David Cardwell.
All right. Man, you still want to take a break after that before we do some interviews?
Yep, and we'll just wait for everyone to get into the booth. So, yep, we'll take a quick break. Or we can see if everyone.
Or we can take a look at that last wreck and see what happened to Garrett Maines there. If you want to do that, it doesn't matter to me.
And like we only have Matthew Lee in the booth, so we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back with the driver interviews. Right, we do have all 3 of our top 3 finishers in the booth, so let's go ahead and start off by pulling in our 3rd place finisher, Matthew T. Lee.
Matthew, this is Dustin and Atlee up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Matthew, man, we saw you on the back bumper of Garrett Maines for the 2nd time here in the Superspeedway Series, and it didn't work quite as good as it did last time, but hey, you were there for the finish. So what happened there? Was there some disconnect between you and Garrett there at the end?
No, uh, me and Garrett pretty much had it set up and had Alexander get to the back of us there coming to the white flag, and we're looking pretty good going into one until Traverco came up a little bit and got into Garrett, and there's just really nothing we could do from there. I thought I might have had a shot at the win until those two got hooked up going down the backstretch into three again, and just tried to do all I could at that point.
Yeah, I got you. So, as you look forward to the rest of the season, what we have left, is there anything that you would have done differently tonight? Or are you pretty confident that what you did tonight just was the right call, just didn't work out exactly like you had hoped?
Yeah, I messed up on a couple of the restarts and didn't time it as good as I should have, and I think that kind of cost us losing the lead as a team with me and Garrett there, and we were in a pretty good spot controlling the race for quite a while, and uh, just need to get the timing a little better, and I think we've had a pretty strong run, so keep rolling with it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come speak with us after the race. Again, congratulations. You made a third place position. That's in the money. So, anybody you want to shout out tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to all the guys over at CG Chassis, Phantom Racing. A lot of good work going on right now, getting ready for Road to Pro. GTR simulators, you guys for putting on the race, Ian for putting on the series, man. This is a ton of fun to run every week, and really look forward to running.
All right. Thank you so much, Matthew. We look forward to having you back in the booth here shortly, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right. We'll throw it over to Atlee as he'll interview Brandon.
Okay, so there we go, Brandon. This is Atlee and Dustin in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Copy.
All right, sweet. Well, that was an awesome race on your part. We saw you starting to work with Brandon Gagnon there, and you did a really good job fending off Matthew Lee and Garrett Maines, and you ended up taking second place there. You tried to make a move on the finish, but I mean, what happened here at Daytona from your point of view?
Oh yeah, first and foremost, my apologies to Garrett. I came up a little bit. He got a little sideways going into one, getting a kind of a little bit of an ill push from Matthew, but ultimately I came up, kind of wrecked him. So my apologies out to him. After the wreck happened, truthfully, I was content with finishing wherever down the back. It was Gagnon and Matthew. I told Brandon, my teammate, to come down, and came down, and then pretty much solidified both of us 1-2, and ultimately I kind of made the move a little too late out of 4, and which cost me a chance at the win, but hopefully it was a decent finish for y'all.
All right, now I do have to ask you. What fueled you to second place? What did you have for dinner tonight?
Oh, we always have chicken wings.
Chicken wings on a Friday night?
Man.
If I may, Atlee, I got to ask Brandon something. Brandon, we saw you halfway through the race take it 3 wide with Colin Williams right behind you. First of all, what were y'all thinking? Second of all, how in the world did y'all make that work out there, man?
Oh man, I'm always known to be an aggressive plate track racer. I always go for it anytime I'm out on the track, especially at plate tracks, which it either works, you end up on the hook, or you usually end up pretty decent like we did tonight. But I don't know, I've always had that aggressive mentality to go for it, and more times than not I'd say it works out, but it can bite you as well. But I always just kind of had that mentality to always be aggressive, I guess.
Awesome. Well, you aggressively made your way to second place. Any shout outs or sponsors you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out East Coast Wings for those incredible chicken wings tonight.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on second place, and hopefully we'll catch you next week.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, next we'll bring in Brandon Gagnon, tonight's winner at Daytona. Brandon, do you have a copy? This is Atlee and Dustin.
Got a copy. How's it going, guys?
Man, it's going good after that crazy finish. Well, tell us what happened from your perspective, how you guys got by Garrett and Matthew, and then how you stayed up there after you passed him.
Well, I knew those guys were working together. It's all about team. I had Brandon Chaburko and Tom with me, and we just had to find a way to separate them. And once we got that final final restart and I saw I could get to the bottom and it had me, Brandon, and Tom in a line, we figured we'd be able to give it a run. But Matt and Garrett had a good push on the outside. Garrett was not able to clear me. And then I saw Mayhem behind me, and there's 3 of us left. So I had to drop to the guy that was giving me that push all race.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. Well, first of all, I was super impressed about how you and Brandon completely took control of that race by getting by them. But yeah, crazy last lap. So, what was you thinking out of turn 4 when Brandon was trying to take it outside there?
When he started to take it outside, I just wanted to hold that inside, and then I saw the wreck behind me, and I saw him go low, and Matt was on the high line. And you guys know when you come out of 4 in this race or at this track, you want to have the high line. It's got that momentum. But then I saw Brandon below, and I was like, well, I'm guaranteed to get pushed, so I'm going to drop to the bottom and get a push from him. And luckily, we were able to get the finish that we did.
Absolutely. Well, you're $300 richer. I gotta ask, what you planning on doing with all that money?
You drop it right back into iRacing. I feel that that's what we all do. Once we actually win something, it goes right back into the sim.
That's exactly right. Oh man. Well, I've got some needy kids if you ever want to donate to needy kids. But anyways, you have
What?
yeah, I got 2 needy kids sitting here in my house. All right. But is there anybody you'd like to shout out tonight, Brandon?
Absolutely. I got to thank Studio Displays, Swag, Wraps and Graphics, ComServe Wireless, aka Snap Mobile, everybody involved, my family, everybody that's supportive, everybody on my Twitch on Boston Boy 83. Can't thank everybody enough. Wouldn't be in the position I am without everybody involved. So thank you guys for putting it on. Intensity Broadcast, Atlee, love you, man. Do an awesome job. Dustin, great work. You guys keep doing what you're doing, and we'll be back every week.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope to talk to you next week. That means you'll be that top 3 again. Appreciate you coming up here, spending time with us, joking around with us, and go spend that money wisely.
Say that the wife's watching the stream now. I didn't win anything. You guys have a good night.
All right. Take care. All right, Atlee.
Final
Man,
thoughts?
well, like I told Brandon, I was really impressed that they were able to team up both the Brandons there on the outside line and got by Matthew T. Lee and Garrett Maines, who had pretty much dominated this race. And so that was the impressive. I would say that was the move of the race right there, obviously.
But I mean, I do have to credit though Brandon Schuberko because now I want some chicken wings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, somehow it always turns back to food when I'm broadcasting. I don't understand.
But just to round this out, thank you everyone for watching the race here on Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on 3 platforms: Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, especially Facebook, as we are on the road to 1,000 by April 27th. We're already at 980, so we're getting there. Make sure to drop a follow, and also check us out on Twitter as we make a few posts every week. So just make sure to check that out. I'm Atlee at Manwees. Thank you for watching. Over and out.